How could you like to make your first million? And today we have with us Wei-Li. And Wei-Li is a transformational leader with deep expertise in human-centered business strategy, with decades of experience in spanning corporate HR, private equity, and early childhood education. Wei Li brings a unique ability to bridge the gap between culture and performance. He's now the founder of Win. Wow, I love the name, Win Consulting. And he partnered with CEOs and executive teams to decode the hidden drivers of culture using his proprietary Win method diagnostic. Very powerful tool. So, wait, tell us, what are the 5 steps that you recommend entrepreneurs in order to make the first million?
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Well, terrific, Harry. One, it's great to be on your podcast and sharing insights that will help your listeners. So, gosh, if I think about the 5 things that every entrepreneur should really be thinking through, the first one seems simple, but I'd say that you want to think about solving a real problem that people will actually pay for. So, in my example, I'm actually part of 2 companies. I'm the founder, chief impact officer of Win. And we realize that companies are struggling managing culture and performance at the same time. So every CEO I talk to, they say, gosh, culture driven by HR and business performance driven by finance, those 2 groups don't talk together. And I'm really worried about our workforce and how that impacts performance. So, finding something that people will pay for is a huge piece. I'm also the CEO of Otter Learning. It's one of the fastest growing early childhood education childcare companies, growing to more than 70 preschools in less than 10 years from an entrepreneur. And their success in that problem is quality early learning, right? So you have to solve a problem that people will pay for. The second one is building a scalable business model. When I think about the challenge that I wanted to solve for companies, I realized that they couldn't figure out how to measure culture in a way that aligned with business performance. So I created a diagnostic tool that shows objectively for business leaders the intersection between culture and performance. If you know the intersection, you can start to grow and manage it. So that enables us to scale because we're really thinking and launching the diagnostic that's repeatable, helping people grow. The third one, which I really struggle with, Harry, is you got to master sales and marketing. I was a career corporate person, and when I started this, I was
That's a good
terrible.
one.
You're right. You got to learn how to sell. You have to learn how to articulate your value proposition. You have to learn how to close the deal, and that was a huge learning curve for me. So I would say that's third. I think number 4 is you just have to manage cash ruthlessly, right? Everything's a good idea and you want to spend money in the right places, but you have to be very thoughtful around the return on your investment early on so that you can start to grow and make your first million as quickly as possible. And then the last one really kind of sits with the team, with what I do, is you've got to build the right team and the systems that bring out the best in your people. So I think about, I help companies build high performing cultures. Well, you've got to be able to do that yourself as an entrepreneur. You know that you're in the trenches, you're doing so much, but everybody that you surround you with, you want them to have as much vested passion as you do as an entrepreneur in what you're trying to bring to life. So the fifth one is build an environment that brings out the best so that everybody has that entrepreneurial mindset that you do to be successful.
So, you talk about sales and marketing, and there are out of the 500 millionaires that we interview so far in this podcast, we haven't find anyone yet that said I hate sales and hate marketing, right? Because it's a great part of the of you to grow your business and build wealth. However, I understand that that could be know your strength, and for some people are not. So how you warm up with the idea that this is not your thing, you're coming for corporate, you are strong in other areas, but oh my god, this thing at least I need to learn how it works. And I, because otherwise I need to have some basic knowledge so I can actually employ people and understand what they're doing and understand the numbers. So
Yeah.
why, how you deal in business when you have to do something that you don't like and you know that you have to do it anyway?
Yeah, it's a great question,
For
and
me,
I
was the accounts, you know. Oh
everybody
my
wants
God,
to.
what a headache.
That's exactly right. So I'll tell you how I did it. So I spent the majority of my career in the corporate world with billion-dollar businesses and became an executive in those places, and I had a pretty decent network. I knew that I needed to sell in an authentic way, right? So that's the one. I needed to be myself. I'm not a salesperson. So I needed to articulate what I was trying to do. And the relationships that I had in my career, people understood me as a problem solver, particularly specializing in human capital, talent, and business performance and connecting those two. So I did the first thing I did is I really tapped my network. So I went to people that I knew to tell them what I was doing and to see if they were struggling in any ways so that I could help them. I wasn't selling a product, I was selling my experience to support them in the best way. That was the first thing I did. And in that process, I established a couple anchor clients that enabled me some flexibility to start building other pieces and start to expand my network to drive other clients. So one, I really leveraged my network. The second one was partnerships. When I think about people that I've worked with before and leveraging expertise that complemented my business, a great partnership was a company called Joyful. Joyful, I felt, was an outstanding company that helped organizations bring culture to life, very creative and understood the impact of culture and performance. I had a diagnostic, and they had the creative insights and tools to really bring it to life, and they had a built-in network as well. And we found that our partnership really aligned to really bring service to life. And I think of those two pieces between my network and then the right partnerships like Joyful, it really helped me stabilize a business so that we can grow from there.
Culture. When we ask the entrepreneurs, if you had to start all over again, what would you be different? A lot of people are giving us this answer. They're telling me, Harry, culture. If I knew that this business is gonna take me 10 times harder to that what I thought, I will pay more attention to the first group of people that work with me and work with me. Um, and also I will learn how um, to develop and grow sustainable the culture in the organization, because the other thing way is not the same. You know, when you start in a company that you have these five friends of you, mates, how they say in London, you have five mates that you know that will give sweat and tears, and they want to sleep Monday to
Yeah,
Sunday to be the company to take it off the ground. But then when you have 10 employees, 20 employees, 100 people, these people are not going to stay overnight, right? And you cannot expect that level of performance when you have a large group of people. So how you uh, evolve the culture with the organization while growing,
yeah,
and what is the impact in response to change, something that we talk a lot in this podcast. When you see some corporates that have this formation, it's like a big Titanic that's so
yeah,
big, so vertical up, that if they need to turn right, they see the iceberg and they have to turn right, they need to move all this boat, and it's so slow
yeah,
that they hit it no matter what. Where the other way, when you develop culture and the organization, it looks more like 3,000 liter boats where the CEO goes in the first boat, and then when you say turn right, all the 3,000 votes turn right, and then you respond to change fast. So tell us about growing and developing of culture in the organization,
Yeah.
and how it's related with the response to change, um, uh, with the speed of response to change of the
Yeah.
organization. It's a topic that I love a lot, so that's why I brought it to you.
I think that's amazing, Harry. I think so. First, I would say we have to redefine culture in companies, and I think culture right now has a bad stigma to it. When you think about entrepreneurs or even very mature companies, when they hear culture, they feel like it's a job for human resources. It's about spending a lot of money around parties and things that make people feel a certain way and all those type of things. And most of the business leaders that I talk to, they know it's important, but they're frustrated because they know they're spending money on it, but they don't see the connection to speed, performance, and all those elements. So the first thing I would say is when you think about
They don't see it as an investment; they see it as
that's
an
right.
overhead, right?
They see it as an overhead, right? So the first thing you want to do
Then
is
the
you want,
market changed, they go out of business, and nobody understands what happened.
that's exactly right. So I want everybody to look at culture as improving the productivity of their employees, right? So making sure that employees feel as aligned to the goals of the company as much as the entrepreneur CEO does. Now, as much as that's difficult, it's possible. And so I think about I mentioned I'm also the CEO of Otter Learning, right? One of the fastest growing childcare early learning companies, founded by two friends that were investors and left their investment world, bought a preschool, and started working in it. And through that experience, they realized there was so much impact that they can make, and to not only change the quality, but to really build great experiences in these pieces. Now, Harry, in 7, 8 years, they've grown to one of the largest in the industry. They now have over 70 preschools and they're growing. And when I think about that, their founder CEOs,
Wow.
they were built on passion and just getting people aligned and acquiring schools and getting them excited. But they were starting to realize it wasn't sustainable. So they approached me and said, "Gosh, first, would you like to join our board?" And then once I joined their board, they asked me to be the CEO because they knew that they needed scale and they needed to turn that passion into focus. So what we're working on today as a high growth company is and we have 1,300 plus employees. Now we're looking at how do we
Wow.
create
That's a big number.
clarity. Yeah, 1,300 from nothing in less than 10 years.
Oh,
And
wow.
all now about inspiring 1,300 people to show up every day to do something truly special, to be the best in their community. And that is our business strategy. So culture is everything in our company, in the way that we communicate, in the way that we set goals, in the way that we show how important they are to the mission, and how we set them up so they give their best every single day.
Yeah, and I think that even in my company, right, we have been we realized something, right, with the people working with us for so many years, right?
Yeah,
We've been in business for the last 18 years, so I had so many employees. Down the line, I realized that the high performer employees were those ones that the culture that we have align with the culture that they have.
that's right.
Whether, to give you a simple example, I haven't here in 18 years any of my employees tell me, Harry, this is not my job. It doesn't exist in my company. Yeah, my company, we are a large organization. We are a few people, all rock stars. This is how I think I like it. Or this is how this is who I am. Right, to just do a lot of things with few people. So
Yep.
those one that comes to our organization, they have the same set of values within the culture. They like adventure, they like something new, they like even this podcast. They didn't know what it was when I told them I want to do a podcast. They told me, what was that? And said, we don't know. I told them, I don't know. They told me, we don't know either. They told me, give us 3 weeks and we will come back to you, Harry. Let's see what is this thing you want to do now. And look, now when they came back, they told, the website already was developed, all connected to the feed. They told me, just press the button. Don't worry about it. We got it. Everything. Just press it, upload the video. That's all you have to do, Harry. Don't worry about, So from 3 weeks at the beginning, nobody have any clue, not even me.
Yeah.
So but I think that I can count with the team like that because this is my culture. I want a new idea, and I need a team that is proactive to implement this idea. At the same time, we have been in our ecosystem in the past have employees that they are more the kind of employee that this is not my job, this is my job description, I only do this,
Right.
um, which is that amazing for large corporation, right? Because sometimes this is why you need the job description to do exactly what it is. But for our organization that we are not so many and we like multitasking, it was better. So I don't think that there is such a thing of bad employee, good employee, lack of productivity and increased productivity. I think that the issue is that when we bring people at the organization, sometime down the line in the hiring process, it happened to me. We were looking at the skill if the employee was knew how to do the job right, than okay, if that person, the culture that he has can align with our culture. First, let's get that clear, and then second, let's see if he's able to do the job or not. Because even there are people in my organization that when they started, they didn't even know how to do the job. We taught them, but the
Yeah.
culture is so powerful that they're still around. Makes sense. So, what is the secret? And second, how you deal when someone make mistake down the line? Because sometimes it's no, you're hiding. Sometimes this employee arrived to my organization and I had to deal with it. I don't like to fight people. This is also within my culture. I believe that that we should work with the people, train them, and try to make the best out of them. But when it's an homage of culture, it doesn't matter. I try as much as possible. Eventually, it doesn't work. So tell us, we were touching about this subject, productivity and culture. Tell us your
Yep.
view. You have a lot of years of experience working in large organization. How actually embedded? How actually are link culture and productivity?
Yeah, so I'll share with you two things. The research on this is really interesting. So I've been working with the Gallup organization. You may have heard the Gallup poll. They poll worldwide statistics around a lot of different subjects, and they've been studying the emotional connection of employees in their workplace for more than 25 years. And if I were to just share with you US data, which I think is really interesting, and I think most other countries are a little bit lower than US, so you can kind of use the US data as a barometer. If you look at US workforce emotional connection to their companies for the last 25 years, regardless of historical impact, whether it was 9/11 or the financial crisis of 2008 or even COVID, about consistently almost one third, about 33% of the US workforce are emotionally showing up every day, giving their best to support the company and doing everything that you're describing, right? Really showing up with great passion to help the company move forward. One third. So if you think about that, and entrepreneurs really need to think about this. If you're consistent with the US research, that means two-thirds of your employees are either doing the bare minimum or they're even working against you. And some of them may not even realize they're working against you, but they're the employees after the meeting saying, "Oh my gosh, they don't understand how hard we're working, or that's never going to work, or all those." That's actually working against you, because if they really cared about what you were doing, they would have voiced their point of view in the meeting. I see what we're trying to do, but I see key risks there. Our bandwidth are being challenged. We need to stop doing this so we can create capacity to and engaging in that conversation. The moment you have the conversation after the meeting, you're really pulling away from leadership, and that's not helpful. Now, here's what's interesting, Harry, and this is where I support a lot of companies. The middle group, they're not trying to do anything bad. I call them paycheck collectors. They do the bare minimum to collect their check. They never go above and beyond, but they're not trying to hurt you either. They just do the bare minimum. What we try to do, and that it is on average as much as 50% of your workforce, half of your employees. If you can inspire that 50% to become like that one third employees that go above and beyond, your business performance will begin to rapidly improve. And it's about targeting that middle group. Now, to your point, I believe every employee has the opportunity.
How you touch, move, and inspire them.
So when you
Maybe
think,
somehow align this middle group. I mean, the fact that they are there collecting the paycheck, uh, how fully aligned they are with the with the vision of
exactly.
the company itself.
Yeah.
Or
So
what can be done to touch, move, and inspire them.
that's right. So the two things that I help every company figure out, and these are very simple, and everybody can apply this in their company in the right way. The first one is clarity. The majority of people, when asked, "Do you know what's expected of you at work?" the majority of people cannot strongly agree. So providing clarity helps everybody understand how to show up in the best way. Entrepreneurs, leaders in general, they always overlook it. They don't spend the time to drive really strong clarity. Clarity in your job, clarity in the connection to your job impacting the metrics, giving them information that helps them make decisions. Clarity is huge. So that's one. The other piece that you hit on, Harry, is connection. Creating a sense of belonging, that you're part of something bigger than oneself. Everybody wants to be part of something special. And every company has that ability. So you're talking about vision, bringing that to life in a way that people feel like, I am proud to be with this company because I believe in the vision. And I believe that it applies to my personal values, and I'm committed to do that. Those type of things are strong predictors of getting employees to lean in more. And most managers really overlook it.
And then the other question, a lot of listeners, they are incorporate and they are dreaming to start the new business to do this transition, which is something, a path that you have been. And again, there is different. When you are in corporate, you have very clear your job description. Clearly, you can tell people this is not my job, or I don't deal with this. Whether when you're an entrepreneur and you are on charge, everything is your job. So, uh, tell us about this transition and what do you recommend our listeners that they are cash rich, time poor, and they're still trapped in this golden corporate cage, but
Yes.
still they cannot find the strength to drop it off and start their own business. And some of them maybe we always share here that maybe try to keep your corporate job and start the business on the side to see if you like to be an entrepreneur, because sometimes they it could be just an empty dream, and to be in business, you have to be built for it. The other day, my brother called me and told me, Harry, he has a big warehouse in Spain, and his business. He he import and export decoration products to all Europe, and he called me and he told me, Harry, you won't believe he's in Madrid. He said, have you seen the news? No, I haven't seen the news. Well, check. There are some fires in Spain, in Madrid, and it was a fire, and it was reached only 200 meters from my warehouse. And they said, and I couldn't even go inside the warehouse because the fire brigade didn't allow anybody to go in. And I told him, well, all you need to be just in business for this kind of crazy things
Yes.
happen. If you're not in business, but if you're in business, crazy things like this is part of the of the day to day. So tell us about this transition, and it was easy. What was your bigger challenge? And tell us the good, the bad, and the ugly from corporate versus be become your own boss, become an entrepreneur.
It's interesting. So, my last corporate job, I was a president of a company that we had 30,000 employees, right? To give you an idea of the scale that I was responsible for and the infrastructure that I had, and it was a bit of a machine, right? Managing that large scale. So when I started my own business, it was daunting because I was used to a lot of things. I took for granted things getting done. And I remember saying to somebody, I woke up and I realized if I don't do it, it's not going to get done. And
Absolutely.
right,
Welcome to my life.
that's exactly right.
Oh
And
my God.
and and and
At the
that's the
beginning.
challenge.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
In the
Oh, the
beginning,
beginning is
was
crazy, huh?
very, very hard. And I think that the key is I had to figure out how I could give myself time every day doing what I knew I could do best. Because there's so many little details that if I started chasing all the little details, it's like being in
Your time
quicksand.
is gone. The day flies.
You just sink and you don't make progress. So I realized I had to protect time, that I was out talking to people about the piece. My thought around the first thing that you want to do is to solve a real problem that people are willing to pay for. I spent the majority of my time meeting people,
Very good.
reconnecting with people that I haven't talked to in 20 years, and listening to them the way they described it. It helped me articulate what I knew I had passion for, which is to help companies get more out of their employees the right way. And so I feel like the challenge of being an entrepreneur is understanding that you've got to do everything until you actually have some stability, that then you can bring on partners or other people that can actually take some of these tasks. But you just have to be out in front of
I
your
was
client.
jealous of my employees. You see, I remember my employees. You see, I remember in my property business, a room need to be painted. They were calling with our builders. They were called Mat and Mat. So a room need to be painted. Mat and Mat, come and paint the room. And the boiler get broken. And okay, the engineer come and fix it. And the thing, and I was like, wow, it's amazing. I remember that at the beginning was not like this. At the beginning, I was painting the room. I was doing all this because it was no capacity until I increased my sales. Um, this is what set me free, right? At
That's
the
right.
When I increase my size, then I can employ people that are better than me that do the job. But when you are in this uh, in that space, like trying to get
Oh,
pro market fit, and you need to increase the sales, and you're not there yet. Um, it's a process that you have to figure out, and time management and productivity play a big role. And if you bring one wrong person with the wrong culture, forget about your company.
there's a lot of truth to that. There's
Yeah,
a lot of
especially in that top. Tell us a little bit more about this way in a small organization. Um, uh, that there are very few employees. If one comes that it doesn't fit into the culture, uh, it's a big risk that the company might go out of business, correct?
That's exactly right. I think every one person you bring on, they amplify themselves to make an impact.
Especially in a startup.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So, it's interesting here. Like we talked about, I'm in my lake house in Maine. I'm working remotely with a lot of different groups of people, and I think having that very strong perspective around the types of people you surround yourself with. I love that you said I find people that are better than me in those areas. And it takes a certain type of person to be able to recognize that you need to be surrounded by people that are better than you, and that it enables you to do the one or two things that you're probably excellent at. And I find a lot of leaders, they find themselves hiring people that they can direct, but that's just not sustainable. Then
Yeah.
I like to think about a world that, the people that I'm bringing on, they
Mhm.
do their best work when I don't see them, and
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
right.
This
So it's a big mindset shift.
yeah, wait, this is look, this is the recipe that I have that changed my life forever. My employees send me home.
That's it. That's
Yeah,
right.
my manager said me, Harry, don't come here to the office anymore. We don't need you. I'm like, what? I said, no, no, no. Stay at home, travel the world. In fact, you have nothing to do. You coming here to the office, you're talking to us, you don't let us work. This is what we're gonna do. You go home, I'm coming to see you once a month, and I will tell you what we're doing with the company, how we're expanding it, how we're dealing with the clients. And you listen just for listen. But my manager, but the truth is that they were better than me.
Yeah, that's it.
All the employees that I brought, they were better than me at doing everything. And I think that my talent is to find these people better than me. This is what I'm good at.
That's that's
So,
that's a great skill. That's a great
oh,
strength
I
to
love
have.
it. I love it. Give me a lot of freedom in my life. I love my skill. You see, if you're trying to, and I attract them. Even this podcast, you listen this podcast, see the people showing up. The people are talking about the Harry. How these people are showing up in your podcast? What are you doing? I said, look, I'm not doing anything. They're showing up. They're booking themselves. You see, so I think that when these have been also, it didn't happen overnight. Yeah, um, have been a process that, at the beginning, when there is no entrepreneurs in my family, so there was no reference. So you start the business with this big ego, and don't get me wrong, we all have ego, because otherwise we won't be entrepreneurs. We think that we can do better. So the ego is there. The problem is that when you don't have any clue what you're doing, and you never been in business, and then you start to make few bucks, you think that you're the big deal. And you know everything, and everybody needs to listen to you. And I was doing this, I was at the beginning, I'm telling you, 18 years ago, yeah. I was going on at the beginning to the office like I'm the big deal. Everybody need to listen what I say. But you know what? It was exactly as you described. I was so excited, so excited. There was so many little things that I'm thinking these people are gonna kill me. There are so many clients that want to talk to me. All the thing coming to ask me all the questions all the time. I'm thinking in the evening when everybody's gone, I'm sitting in the office. I said, if I don't do something, these people are gonna kill me, because the tenants, they knew that there was someone called Harry, that if they called 3 a.m. and Harry said yes, that's it. They could leave the room, they can bring the family, they could do. So they are happy to talk to me at 4 a.m., even if I don't sleep. Maybe they want to bring a friend for a month or something, right? And then you have the manager as well. But once you, I think out of necessity, out of tiredness, I don't know, out of what, I think out of survival, by accident, I say, what if I drop it? And what if I allowed them to give them a space, and when they start to develop, exactly that's what happened. They were actually better than me.
Yeah.
They didn't have a space at the beginning. I didn't give them a space, so I'm killing myself. They don't have any space to develop themselves. So everybody tired and exhausted, and we're not moving forward. I surrendered my thing. I give them more space. I start to trust in the team, develop the culture. Yeah.
Yep.
I remember my manager, they all the time they were telling me, I was born in Cuba, so I know how to dance salsa. And the guests they were telling me all the time, how do you take us to dance salsa, take us to dance salsa. I remember telling them, look, this is what we're gonna do. You rent all the rooms, all the rooms rented by Friday, no complaints. That's it. I take you to dance salsa and I teach you guests and with whatever you want, I'll do. Deal. And oh my God, they were. After I said that, I remember we said that on Monday. Oh my God, they were going out there and they flew. By Friday, always it was all before Friday. They was all done. So it's again this emotional connection, this
Yep. That's
that
exactly.
you have with the employees, and this trust that eventually can can take your life to a next level, right?
Yeah, I think that's right. It's funny. You said something that I resonated with very early on in my career. A senior executive said to me, if you're able to figure out how to balance being confident and humble at the same time, you're probably going to do very well. And it's very similar to what you said. You have to
Hmm.
believe in yourself and have the confidence that you can add value. But at the same time, you can't believe that you're the smartest person in the room, right? You have to be humble enough to realize that surrounding yourself with people that you can learn from is going to benefit you as well. And I've always thought about how do I remain confident and humble at the same time, which I find now that I've been around the block many times and worked
Hmm.
a lot, those words still ring true, 30 years
And
later.
until today, from 18 years now, I'm still when I talk to everybody, I'm telling to everybody, my employees are amazing. My people, what even I share with you today how amazing they did this podcast. I'm so always um so happy how amazing they are at times. And things. I mean, I have changed different business, but the people that we brought again, it's a progression and it had to do with culture. But they were and they are amazing. So wait, if someone is in love with this conversation and want to find out more about how can you help them, how people can find you, how this process works.
Probably the best place to find me is on LinkedIn, through my name, Wei-Li Chong, because you can find me certainly through Win. Our website is win.consulting, and you can start to look at the diagnostic tool and things that we create. If they're interested in Otter Learning, they can certainly look at our website as well at Otter Learning. But the best way, if you want to connect and you want to follow me, I share a lot of insights around helping leaders
Mhm.
make better connection between culture and performance. It is the best way to drive sustainable performance growth. And I have incredible passion for helping companies and leaders do that.
Yeah, performance and is in my opinion, performance and speed of implementation are a key in order to companies, especially large company, to succeed. And the more you expand that company, you're gonna bring new people. Then you have the legacy from the old culture, and then coming new people with the new culture because the company is bigger, and you have to merge all this. But something that sounds almost impossible if you manage to touch more of an inspire the middle part of the team.
Paycheck
Yeah, let's
collectors.
don't call it employees, like to call them team, or the team, right? You will the result that you will have in productivity and the way that your company is gonna move forward, you will be shocked. They might be able to, they might send you home. If you do this well enough and the company is not too big, your employees will send you home. Trust me, I've done it. so, thank you so much, Wei, and for all of you following the broadcast here in our next episode, how brave entrepreneurs like Wei break that wall and achieve the first million. Bye for now.
Follow us for more interviews with the world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.